there, you wonderful bunch of turnips, and oh my gosh, have we got a lovely little skirmish for you today. The orcs are at it once again, ladies and gentlemen, and standing against them is going to be the Imperials and, of course, some good old space marines. We've got dreadnoughts, we've got assault dreadnoughts, we've got bolters, we've even got some guardsmen and a few Cadians thrown into the mix, and you can see we've got jump jets on the front. The orcs over here, choppers, they've got a couple of mega knobs, a couple of normal knobs, and they've even got a few storm boys as well thrown in. As you can see now, our front line is already developing really nicely here as the space marines come out to try and hit that counter charge as the orcs here come streaming from the jungle. My god, there's a lot of them. Look at that horde just surging forward as that heavy assault fire now rains down overhead right into them orc lines, decimating hundreds of them. But look at that. Even though that just wiped out a large bunch of them, it was instantly filled in again. There's just so many orcs pouring down through this jungle area here, marching their way up the hill. Now, we've got to be careful because of the flanks over here. There's not many space marines, so the orcs are going to be trying to push these cliff faces here and outflank the Imperials. You can see the Imperials are meeting at this flanking maneuver head on here with their own troops. Conscripts there being forced into the mix. Let's go for a bit more of an overhead view. You can see that the orcs here are pushing up this way. The Imperials trying to defend at the top of this hill here against the oncoming onslaught. Lots of conscripts now moving to the front line as this tries to outflank them. Whoever wins the flank is going to win this fight over here. But yeah, look at them. A lovely sight. All the orcs pouring over the hill like that. And all that bolter fire just coming in. Oh, there's so much of it. Yeah, I love them. Them assault dreads really lend in a lot of firepower onto that front line. The assault marines are holding firm though with the backup of the conscripts here. You can see that our bolters in the background moving forward here, trying to give some really good support cover on that front line. We have got Cadians as well. I think they should be really trying to help the flanks though. What we need is some gunners to move over this way. It's all melee troops on this side. And yeah, conscripts against orcs. It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. The orcs slowly but surely making their way up the side of this cliff face here, chomping their way through the Imperials, trying to defend that area. But on the other side, yeah, look at this. Space Marines, with the help of the melee dreadnoughts now, pushing it down the hill, just annihilating the orcs on the front line. And all the blood is going to be flowing down the hill here. Look at that front. Oh god, that's absolutely magnificent. Such a large wire as well that's just coming up here. Now let's go see if we can actually see where any of the blood is pooling up. Okay, so I've got to think, yeah, look at that. It's all going to be coming out down the bottom down here. It all funnels into this narrow valley right there. Okay, we'll check on that later and see how that progresses. Let's go over to the flank though, because it looks like the orcs are advancing. The orcs won the flank on this side. The Imperials now desperately trying to get reinforcements into this area to plug the gap. The orcs, realizing that there's a little hole here, are surging forward with more choppers. You can see a couple of mega knobs making their way to the front line as well. Oh my god, look, we've got a couple of storm boys as well with the rockets on the back here, waiting for their turn to be sliced open by a couple of space marines here. Although I will say, actually, it's mainly Imperial guardsmen on this line defending this flank here, which is probably why the orcs are capturing it. Oh gosh, look at this. These guys now making their way over to the Cadians here, who are providing the covering fire, and they're getting absolutely lit up as they come over this hill here. Cadians pouring it on them, not letting them get this ground without taking extreme losses, it seems. Does look like the Dreads and a couple of the Space Marines now are also lending their firepower to this flank, realizing that it's been exposed. Look at all this. The orcs are just making a mosaic on the floor already. They're trying to push in, but they're getting gunned down just before they can get... Look at this one guardsman here. Bravest guardsman there ever was. Just standing there as about 40 orcs charge towards him. But the orcs are gaining the upper hand on this far right flank bit by bit. The Imperials not able to hold it without the help of these Space Marines on the front line. Speaking of our front line, it has been pushing it forward down the hill. Obviously, having the higher ground here has been an advantage for the Space Marines. Look at this. They've really pushed down that hill. Quite far, actually. There's still a lot of orcs, though, coming up, and you can now see that a couple of orc shooters have made their way over here and are laying their own dagger onto that front line. So the Space Marines are under duress now. It is no longer just a melee frenzy. Gunfire is going back and forth. Let's go over to this far left-hand flank over here. Though the orks are still trying to battle their way up here, it has been a difficult fight. The Imperials have been able to hold it simply because it's a narrow pathway. The orks can't outflank it. They've either got to push up there or that is it. There is no way around because I've actually put us at the map edge over here, I think. Oh, no, there is. They could actually come around this way. Okay, and oh, look at this. It actually looks like they're doing that. How weird is that? Just as I was mentioning it, yeah, the orks now trying to make their way up, finding new pathways to try and outflank this Imperials. Quite clever of the orks, really. Our front line, though, is starting to look a little bit weaker now. The Space Marines are thinning out one by one over here. It has been deadly combat on our front lines. But we've still got a really good chunk of Space Marines in the middle. These Imperials need to start spreading out to the other side, because we've got way too many Space Marines all bulked up in the middle here. Let's go back over to our far right flank. How are we doing over here? Okay, so the orks now taking heavy fire. Oh my god. Really heavy firepower into the side of the flank here as they try to collapse this entire side. That's a lot of orks. Oh my god, that's a lot of orks. There's only one Space Marine here. I think that's the only thing keeping these orks here, actually. Oh no, there is a couple of more Space Marines actually with him. But yeah, they need to stay alive as long as possible because this is a massive ork flanking maneuver now that's coming round. Like I said, we're holding on this side pretty nicely. In the center, we've still got a good, strong Space Marine presence. Look how far they've actually pushed now. This was our front line, and they've pushed all the way down here. They could actually end up reaching the ork shooters. The ork shooters are only here. They're not that far away now. Perhaps that's the tactic. Perhaps that's what they need to do. Perhaps the Space Marines are trying to surge forward to get them shooters, knowing that the Dreads can hold these flanks, hoping that the Cadians can lay down enough firepower to support them with their other brethren there. The bolt fire has been helping out a lot over here, but the Assault Marines on this flank really are starting to wear thin. But yeah, look at that. That's an insane amount of firepower coming in on them. The orks are taking stupendous losses trying to take out these few Space Marines here. Just right into the flank of them as well, man. They've got no protection against that. Just lit up on the side of that hill over there. Going back down to our front line, you can see now the Space Marines are almost actually at the shooters. Oh my god, they're really getting close. But look, oh god. We are starting to thin out here. Are the orks going to make a break here? Are we actually going to get a breakthrough in the Imperial line? That Dread here trying to make his way around, realizing that there's a gap here. There we go. That's it. Take them out. Plug that gap. Don't let the orks through. That would be absolutely deadly for us at this point. Oh no, another Space Marine just went down in the center here. This is looking really dicey now. Oh god, we're really running out of Space Marines across the entire combat line. Like all the Space Marines just evaporated at the same time there. Let's go back down here to the front. Well, I think the actual break has happened. Yeah, the break has definitely happened here now. Going back across the front line, though. There are still Space Marines on this side. But yeah, we had a massive chunk, and that massive chunk of Space Marines just totally disappeared there really quickly. Unfortunately, they didn't quite get towards the shooters. How are we doing on this flank, though? Have we managed to clear up? We've managed to clear up quite a lot of the orks, actually, on this side. A real nice amount of them. We're just about to reach 168,000 kills here. We've got 1,700 troops remaining. It's getting dicey with 140,000 orks remaining. Real dicey. God, have the orks actually... Oh no! The orks have managed to break the cliff face. Oh, that is no good. The Cadians now trying their best to hold this flank all by themselves. They have got a bit of Dreadnought support coming in, but not much, because I would imagine that these guys are still busy trying to mop up over this side as well. It looks like this ork pincer maneuver is successful, because look, the front line over there now is completely collapsed. All the Assault Marines are pretty much dead, and it's going to come down to these boys here. The orks now swarming their position. The flank has been lost. Oh my god. There's so many orks still swarming in here. You would have thought this would have been a really good defensive position for the Space Marines, but they just spread out way too far, and they pushed further than their actual firepower could keep up with them. The firepower was basically concentrating on the flanks. But look at this now. The orks, sensing their victory, are surging over all these boys. Look, pouring down from the mountainsides. Cadians try to hold it. The Space Marines holding the other flank over this side. It is becoming a deadly fight down here. We're down to 1,250 now for the Imperials. Yeah, I think this is slowly but very definitely turning in favor of the orks here. There is a couple of Space Marines now still left on this flank. God knows how these boys have been able to survive for so long, but they simply have. But yeah, the rest of the orks now swarming the location of the Imperials here. These dreads, though, maybe these we've still got a chance, because these guys can absolutely melt orks with their heavy firepower. But it is looking very dicey. Frontline, man. Look at that, just shooting between the Space Marines there, annihilating hundreds of orks with each foul blow there. I do think, though, we're actually somewhat clearing up this flanking maneuver that they had over here. Yeah, this is actually kind of good. We're still losing troops kind of rapidly here for the Imperials, but yeah, we did get a really nice chunk of these guys out. Let's get back over here, see what's happening. Yeah, they're pushing over here now. Are these guys still over here? They are! Oh my god. Oh, they've got to give these guys a medal. These guys here have been fighting for God knows how long. They've just been holding this entire orc flank back, which really did stop this mass over here coming through, but it does appear now it's all a little bit too late. Space Marines here, shoulder to shoulder, back-to-back fighting. Cadians also trying to hold the line, realizing that the orcs are now descending upon them, and there's probably very little they can do about it. They're just trying to take as many out as they possibly can now before the match ends. God, look at all these bodies, though. The defenders put up an excellent defense, considering what, there was like 35,000 of them, something like that. And they were against almost 400,000. So yeah, I'm actually really impressed with the defenders. That firepower, man. Oh, it's stupendous. Look at it, just melting the orcs here. Point blank range. Oh, I absolutely love it. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Last stand has been enabled. The orcs are swarming over the last remnants of our troops here. 36 standing now, and pretty much all Space Marines. Oh my god. But you know what? Of course, the Space Marines never lose, ladies and gentlemen, because all they're going to do now is call in an exterminatus. And as always, I do hope you've had a blast. I know I have. Please do comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. A massive shout out to all you channel members who help to keep this channel going. And if you're not a channel member, why the heck not? Click the join button below. And while you're at it, why not go ahead and check out this amazing metal print Cyber Doggo wall art. Wouldn't you love to have this guy hanging from your wall? With all that being said, as always, until next time, peace.